Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the CC cheat sheet. This is where we play the CC course for this upcoming week. We give you some tips, tricks, that are, I go over things that you ask me in the comments. So, if I don't go over something in this video that you want to see, please leave me a comment. Let me know. I'll get to it at some point. I'll do these every week, guys. The support on the last one was amazing, so I'll do them every week until you guys don't want them anymore. So, this week, the CC tournament is going to be held at Hirschfeldon Golf Club. I probably botched that completely, but it's by DR, who is a known designer in the community. I don't know many of his courses, but I do know he's pretty well known. So, anyway, it's going to be the white tees pin set 1, which the white tees are the rounds you'll be playing. You'll be playing the white tees all week. Pin 1, which will be round 1, and then you have medium or low winds all week, and then the rest of the conditions, I don't really know, but I'm playing all default. You do have a round that'll be all default, which is firm, medium, fast. So let's get into it. Drop a like for the video. That's another way to let me know. So, again, thank you guys for the support lately. The channel has been great. I'm very thankful for you guys, so let's get into it. I don't know what our swing's going to look like, so we'll probably depend on what we go over based on how my swing is. Like, my swing's good. We'll talk about, approach game and numbers. And if my swing's really bad and I start missing greens, we'll probably go over when to use, when to use a chip shot, when to use a flop. Because I think everyone just defaults. And my swing probably will be bad for the first 5 or 6 holes because I haven't warmed up. But everyone just defaults to hitting a super flop from everywhere. And I don't think that's the proper way to play, really. I'm going to lay up here, by the way. It's not an awful lie, but I do not want to hit that lip. So we're just going to lay up, try to get back into the fairway. Take your medicine, right? Take your medicine and try to make your birdie. Looks like a little bit of a right to left foot lie. I forgot to change the settings to what you guys are going to be playing on. This is on Legend Swing, but it really doesn't matter. All the tips remain the exact same. So we're down 3 feet. Wind's helping a little bit. When you partial these wedges, they don't spin. They just stop. Unless there's like some factor that will make it spin, like a big headwind or something like that. So pretty accessible first pin. We couldn't go for it, obviously, but we're down 3. Should one hop and stop. So just got to hit. Just got to hit our number. 75. Is it? 79%. Okay. It's a good swing. We should have a pretty good result here. Beautiful. One hop. Takes its second hop and then doesn't move. So we'll clean it up for our birdie. Like I said, if the swing's feeling pretty good, I want to talk about the course management thing. Is something that's going to come up every week because this is at its core a general course management video. Like how I was a top player. I'm going to say I'm not anymore. I am in plat, but I am not a top player by any means. How somebody, higher than the CT level thinks about playing the course. So for me, you could hit driver up there over the edge. I don't think it's really worth it. It's a pretty short hole. You want to be playing out of the fairway as much as possible. That's an obvious statement, but it really does change the way you play. Because if you get into the rough over here, right? Say you try to make a hero shot and drive it to here, right? Because that's like best case scenario. You can get one up to here. Worst case scenario though, you miss and you're this is actually not a bad spot because it's flat, but say you land here, right? And you're on this heavy slope or even here and you're on this heavy slope. And then you got to come into this green. How are you stopping this ball and making a birdie? Like you're not ever making a birdie. Now, you're probably not making a birdie from back here either, but there's a chance. So you always want to give yourself that chance. So it's 189, it's up 19 feet, so we're going to lose 6 yards plus, basically 6 yards. You get the wind helping. I don't think this gets 6 yards back. I do think it probably gets like 3. So I think this should be pretty safe to get up there. Unless my foot lie is pretty severe uphill, like it is definitely uphill, so it's going to lose probably a yard, but I feel like this should be a decent number. We hit it really well. Ideally, you land on the top of this hill, which that was actually about a yard too long of being perfect. But it's safe, and that's really the goal here. You don't want to leave it short. So down 3 inches, these putts are going to break a lot more downhill than they do uphill. 135 green speeds. So if you don't know, the bottom right-hand corner there will tell you, it says green 135. That's your green speed. If you don't know, if we had a flat green, I extend this as far out as I could and hit it 100 feet, or 100%, it would go 135 feet exactly. If it was completely flat, no breaks. The green speeds will fluctuate from like 104 to 204 or something like that. So down 3 inches. I'm going to take just a little bit off of this. It's not super dangerous by the pin, but it is going to break more than an uphill putt would. Not to say I'm going to make the putt, but a little bit of an underswing, but it is downhill, and we do make the putt. So I think I probably missed that putt by about 1%. It really didn't matter. Based on the speed that it went in, and I took a little off, I did not miss the percent by much. All right. Par 4, pretty standard. Try to land it up on this left side because it does all slope back down to the right. I don't think it's sloped bad enough to push you off, but the further up left, the better for sure. Because this thing does want to send you over there, and they are firm, so, you know, if you land too far right, you probably do end up in a bad spot. All right, this green, this pin, you can't miss right. If you miss right and land here and end up down here, you're in a world of hurt for an up and down. It's a little bit of a left to right slope. It's going to push right. The wind is pushing it right as well. This is too much club. This is not enough. So I'm probably just going to partial one a little bit. I'm going to aim it out further left than I think. All right, I'm going to play this safe to the left of the pin. I don't need to pin hunt here. This is like hit the green. Make sure you don't end up in a really bad spot right. And try to make a putt, that's all. We hit a good shot. I even misaimed it just a little bit because I did not want to pin hunt. And here we are pin hunting. So, I misplayed the foot lie for sure. By enough that it was at the pin instead of left of the pin. But that's like another scenario where, like, you think you're aiming in one spot, but you aim safe enough for the fact that if you messed it up, you're still okay. Now, if I had hit like a 2-degree push there, I maybe roll off the right side, and that's not very good. And a push is my miss, so I'm aware in my head that I made a mistake there. But it worked out. I think that's breaking a little too hard. It is. I pulled it, but that 4 degrees is nothing. We just misread the putt. Tap it in there. It's 200 through 3. It's not a bad start. I'll try to start speeding it up a little bit because I think you guys get the general understanding of the course management thing. Another one where the sloping is right to left here. Wind's against us though. 98%. We landed center. This will bounce off to the left. It might even run right off. It's a pretty tough one to hold. I aimed it a little further left than I normally would just to protect against a push. It's also a really long hole as well. I think we can hit 2 iron here though. Be okay. Should leave us, I'm hoping, like 65, 70 yards. That's kind of the number I want. 64 yards uphill with an uphill lie. So that's perfectly fine. So uphill lie, we're going to lose a little yardage, right? So even though this is past the pin, it's up 12 and it's an uphill lie. This is landing short for sure. This probably lands like maybe here, which is too short. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend it out past the hole. We're going to trust the fact that the foot lie is right and the wind is right. And we're going to hit this here. I flew it a little too far, obviously. But it's up past the hip hole. It's not an awful putt from back here. Like, really, the bad miss there is short. Even though it leaves you an uphill putt, you don't want to deal with that red slope over there. Not quite what you're looking for, but from that yardage, you'd like a little bit better. But the footlie didn't play as much as I thought it would, to be fair. It's downhill putt. I mean, it actually isn't. It's flat. It looks downhill, though. All right, we let it break in there. It's a good birdie nonetheless, right? So 3 under through 4. You have 2 par 5s in the first 4 holes. Your goal should be make birdies on those 2 par 5s, and then if you can steal a birdie, great. If not, that's okay. It's okay to start 2 under through 4 here. Okay, yeah, you have this par 4 that I don't know how to play it. I actually took a look at this course, the first like 5 holes the other day. I don't know how the best way to play this hole, because you don't want to be super long past the green or you are in trouble. You don't want to be left or you're dead. This bunker is too far for a pick, right? So it's a tough splash, actually. If you land it here, it's going to push you left off, right? You're going to bounce left off. If you bounce here, it needs a perfect bounce to get up here, and then it needs to use this slope to push it here. And that's the best case scenario, that you end up in here. There's no way to get close to this pin. What I'm going to just say, what you really should do here, based on all that information I just gave you, you should want to be in here and taking a wedge shot. But for the sake of the argument, I'm going to play over here and show you what could happen. Because you need a perfect bounce here. You need a perfect bounce, and you need to hit a perfect shot, too. So, let's see what happens. A little bit of a push, which is not ideal. It's going to bounce off to the right. It's probably going to be in this right-hand bunker. Which, again, I'd rather be in the fairway 80 yards away. This splash shot's not awful. I mean, it's not great because you go too far past the pin. You have to deal with it rolling off. If you're a little too short, you're back down here. The thing is, you can use this to help you slow the ball down, though. So that's the good thing about it. But it's still a testy little shot. I don't know my lie. You will in this scenario. You will know your lie. I do not. Coming out a little bit to the left. But the main thing here is to land this just shy of that hill. And then use the slope to get us back. Like that. So we landed just high of the hill. We used the hill to stop the ball. And it works out, okay? So it worked out, right? We got our birdie. You make that decision for yourself. Do you think you can get up and down out of one of those bunkers? Or would you rather hit a 70 or 80 yard or 100 yard wedge? I think you're going to make more birdies with a wedge, personally. But it's very enticing to go for the green. I get it. If the pin's in another spot, I think it makes it more worth it. Because the likelihood of making eagle when you drive the green there is still like 3%, like 5%. It's not enough. It's not enough. So down 20, I'm gonna stop yapping about this. This is a little bit long. I'm gonna partial this just a little bit. The wind's also helping us a bit too. I'm saving wind for a video where the wind's up a little higher, just so you guys know. I know a lot of people have asked me about how I play the wind. And I don't chart wind, but I can tell you like exactly what I do. Maybe it will work for you, maybe not. I haven't found many people that it works for. I'm one of the few. I think that that's an awful putt, by the way. I'm one of the few that just guesses, and I say guess like very loosely, but I take educated guesses on wind based on prior knowledge, is the best way to put it. So, like, this wind's decent. It's probably like 8 miles an hour. I don't associate, though, a number to the bar. So a lot of people they'll turn it like this, right? And if it fills up to the tip of that white arrow up there, I think it's 16 miles an hour. All right. So if that's 16, and that's about half of that, that's probably like 8 to 10. You can take 8 to 10 yards off your club, right? So you can say, okay, this club is 289. It's probably going to land 279. But then you have to do the elevation and everything too, which I do. I also don't calculate it on tee shots, so I'm kind of just talking through it right now, but let me take one on the approach. Let's see what happens.
Nice swing. Well, I hope you can hold on to the fairway on this one.
That should have been partial, but we're in the light rough. It's actually not that bad. Little left to right lie.
Second shot here on the 7th.
So what I'll do is in the first, say 5 holes, I look at the wind, right? I judge what I think it's gonna do based on just what I think it's gonna do, because I've played this game a lot, right? So I have a general idea of the wind in general. I'll look at it, right? I look at it here, I zoom it out, I look at it here, and then I look at my foot lie. So my foot lie is taking me right. The wind's helping it go right. I'm going to take a little extra over here. I'm going to take note of where I aimed, right? And then I'm going to say, did I hit it good? No, I did not. Right? No, I did not. But I did hit a pull open, so the wind probably played pretty true. It probably played pretty true. So I know where I aimed it, and I missed by almost 3 yards, right? So we're 8 feet away, almost 3 yards. So now I've got that in my head. So noted, hole 1, noted. I missed by 3 yards left on a wind that's about, let's call it 8 to 10 miles an hour. I don't put that number in my head, but for your guys' sake. On a wind that's about 8 to 10, I aimed. So we have the same wind here. Generally, you don't get it right back to back, but this time we do. So we get that same wind, same exact direction, right? We know we aimed probably right here. We missed 3 yards, to the left. It's a longer shot, so the wind's going to play a little bit different. You do have to realize that. We're also up 17 here. The wind is slightly turning into us, too. So we're going to take this. We have a backstop, so you don't have to worry about being a little long. The wind's slowly turning. I'm going to actually hit this full because of how the wind is turned. I'm going to play it a little further inside of where we were before. Let's see if we can hit a good shot this time. We do. Now we read the wind again. Okay, now we missed even further. Oh, this is going to bounce all the way up there. That's a really, really unlucky bounce. So I played that to use the backstop. The problem with that is if you land right here, like exactly what I did, it doesn't use it. It bounces over the whole thing. If I landed here, it bounces into the hill right here, and it just comes right around. That's a little unlucky, but it'd be like that, All you can do from up here is honestly probably make a bogey. Like, I can't believe that stopped so fast, actually. So we get lucky. I don't know how that ends up right here. The greens are pretty slow. I guess that's probably how, but... So we hit a good shot, but we misjudged the wind again because it turned a little bit more into us. Generally, though, it's because the wind is low. It didn't really do as much as I thought it would, but... So you have this, which is a problem. That's a direct design to tempt you to get up here and then push you into something here and get yourself in trouble. It's also all sloped left to right, if you can see that. So what you really want to do here, you want to take a 2-iron. There's no need to take driver here. It's a 326-yard hole. And then you aim it at the left-hand side. It's going to feed down to the right somewhere. If you hit a pole, aim a little bit more to the center. If that's like your main miss. So we're going to leave ourselves 84 yards. It's a little bit of a right to left foot lie for sure. I think it will probably about negate the wind. It's up 6, so this is probably landing around here, which is a pretty good number, actually. I'm okay with this. We're also hitting into the wind, right? So our draw is hitting into the wind, so we might lose a tiny bit. I'm going to play this just left of the flag because it's going to come out to the left. hopefully we can get a good shot. A little bit of underswing. I don't think that's going to be a huge problem, though. Yeah, not bad. So we missed it by 2%, but it doesn't really matter. We're close enough. 92 would have been just past the flag. So it's a 6 under front 9. We have gone through this incredibly slow. We're already at 20-minute recording, which usually our videos are like 22 to 25 minutes. So we'll try to speed it up now a little bit. Again, sloping right to left. We're going to just hit a drive here. You know what? It's not a bad hole for power drive, guys. If you're swinging decent, which we have so far. A little bit open. I think we're fine, though. This all funnels back to the left. Ideally, actually, if you land that a touch more center than I did, you'll catch that slope and take it down there, and that will be a huge, huge advantage. But for us, we don't. We have a big false front. Again, you probably don't want to be down here. It's a tough up and down. Anywhere over here is great. But to be fair, it is a pretty tough shot. We're down 20. Wind's helping. This is definitely safe. I'm going to partial it just a little bit. I'm going to get a little greedy. It's going to come off way left due to the lie, and then the wind's going to just push the shit out of it. So let's see what we can do with this. I pushed it, though, and we are going to be in trouble.
A little bit to the right on the approach here.
A bunker would be fine.
Setting up in.
It is in the bunker, but how did that come? Wow, okay. Well, we end up in a weird spot, but we'll hit pick. Sorry, I'm just taking a picture. We'll hit pick. It's a severe downhill lie, so this is gonna fly out, right? Normally I would aim the pick with this lie probably in here, but this should come out pretty hot just due to the fact that it's on such a severe downslope. So we're gonna play this here, and I wouldn't even be surprised if this is still a little bit long. We've left ourselves in a pretty tight spot here. Yeah, so this does roll out a little bit long, but it's a pretty good recovery.
6 feet to go.
But yeah, because of that downslope, you have to know it's a fly or lie. It's gonna come out hot, even if the lie doesn't look that great. Just trust it. Just trust the fact that if you're in a bunker downhill like that, you are going to get a fly or lie. You're gonna get sent out of there, especially if you hit a splash shot. That thing will take off forever. Like if you don't have pick yet, you're dead in that bunker completely. So down 47, that's 15, almost 16 yards gain. Plus the wind is pretty strong. It's going to play more going downhill as well. So looking at 155 plus the wind. This is a little too long, but I'm just going to loft it and hope it's okay. I don't want to partial it because the partialing kind of plays with the wind a little bit. So let's see what happens here. I am a little afraid this is long. 98% should help with the longness, though. We're going to hit the fairway, and we're going to lose all our spin. Okay. So now we've hit the shot. 100% is literally right next to the hole. Right? So we hit the fringe or the fairway just off. And when you do that, you lose all your spin. But 100% probably lands right here, and it literally just sticks next to the pin. A little unfortunate. It's a pretty tough pin, though, to be fair. It looks like a downhill putt, but it does not show as one. I'm going to play this at the pin distance-wise. If we're a little short, it's okay.
Well, this has my attention. This really looks good.
We left it short. We underswung it by, I think, 1% probably. I don't know what number we're looking for, but it felt like a very close to a perfect swing, so that's a shame. Leave a birdie on the table. That's okay, though. We're not here just for birdies, right? All right, driver here. This is a case of, like, what do you want in, right? Do you want a spinner in, hit a driver? Do you want a wedge in? Hit a 2-iron, a 3-wood.
I think I'll take that tee shot. Looks good.
And then I'm just realizing I talked about finding a number. We'll do that right now. The last few holes. So I think what's helped me in the past is finding a number, right? So we need 83 yards as the pin. What do I want it to land at? What number do I want it to land at? I probably want it to land at 81, which is probably around right here. These aren't full 1 yard grids, so it's kind of tough to know. So 81 yards, a bounce and a hop, and it probably stops in here somewhere. So how do I get to that 81? All right, we're up 10, so we're losing 3 right off the bat. The wind is with us. I think this is probably good. Now you have to hit your number and you have to hit it perfect. But if I do, I'm gonna watch the number. I'm gonna watch the ball a little bit, but then I'm really want to watch. I'm gonna focus on where it lands. All right, we hit it all perfect. What's our number?
We can get a kick left. It'd be nice.
79.
That's a good one.
So it lands 79,
High.
not 81. So I misread my shot by 2 yards. But what I'm also going to factor in is, where did the ball end up? It ended up hole high, but why? Because it hit the fairway. If that hits the green, it's short. So we misread it by 2 yards, which is not a problem. You're going to miss your shot, like, on probably all 18 occasions. Like, to hit the exact number is pretty difficult. But the goal is to get your brain thinking. Like, if I land this at, say, that one, like at 81, what do I expect it to do when it lands? I expect it to hop 2 yards and then sit there. As we get into some longer shots, which I assume we will here, the math of that gets a little bit more complicated and the exercise becomes much, much better. So it's 92 yards, it's another wedge, right? So it's going to be another short one. We want to land this around 90. The wind's helping, so it might roll out like another, maybe a foot, which I'm not too worried about. I also don't expect the wind to play too much. So I would like to land this around 88 to 89 yards. Let's see what this does. All right, we hit it good again. The wind did play a lot. We landed at 91. All right, so we land 91. It ends up 95. So it bounced and gained 4 yards. We missed our shot by a few yards again, which isn't a huge deal, but it does leave us a tester. Okay, we make it though. No big deal. And the goal of this exercise is just to get your mind thinking. You won't need to do this forever, but if you do this, or if you find yourself like really getting off of hitting decent shots, or you're hitting good shots and you're just never near the pin, this is the best exercise that I've found to help myself. So this is a long shot. This is a perfect example. So we're 218 to the pin. We're up 11. So it's playing 221, almost 222. Wind's into us a little bit. Where do we want to land this ball to get it to bounce and roll up to 218 yards? All right. So we probably want to land this. It's a 4-iron. They're firm greens, right? So it's going to take a pretty hard hop when it lands. But then they're slow greens, so it's not going to roll out a ton. I'd say we probably want to land this ball like 200 yards. So we know this ball is landing 210 right now. Though it's probably landing a little less than that because the wind's going to hurt us. It's probably landing like 207, 206. So I'm going to take this back a few yards, right? And let's see what happens when it lands, if we hit a good shot. This is all dependent on hitting a good shot. And I don't think I did. No, we're a little open. It's going to push us off. This is going to really, you can't even consider the number now. So if you don't hit it perfect, that's okay. Just say, fuck it. We'll do it again on the next hole. Because the exercise doesn't work if you miss your marks because of the loss of everything. You know what? That's not a bad spot to chip from. We almost chipped that in. Get a little aggressive with it, but I think that's our really first green. That's a chip for me all day, by the way. I know I said I'd talk about when is a chip, when's a super flop. So for me, it's if I can run one up a hill and there's nothing dangerous behind the pin, it's a chip 100% of the time.
Here comes hole number 15.
A lot of people are super flopping that, but you don't have a chance to make it, right? I want to make the shot. I'm always looking to score.
This looks like it'll be
Unless I'm in a really bad spot, and then you take your medicine. There's going to be a lot of times you do have to take your medicine, but if I can look to score, I'm looking to score, always. And that's from just off the green, too. Tough second shot. The wind is going to hurt us a little bit. I think we're okay here. I'm going to play this safely to the right of the flag. And see what happens when it lands. I'm hoping we get an okay bounce and it sticks up on the top tier at the very least, which it does. This is fine. Okay, another opportunity to chip. It is downhill. They're slower greens, but you got to be cautious of that. The ball tends to roll out a ton on chips when it's downhill. I'm not going to extend this out. You saw me extend the last one out up the hill. This one I'm going to be a little bit more safe with. I'm okay if I leave this short. You're basically projecting where it's going to land and then reading it like a putt. I hit it awful. See, now, minus 9%. Unfortunately, we'll never know because I forgot to swing the club. I do that sometimes. If you watch the channel, you'll see there's sometimes where I chip and sometimes when I putt, when I pull back and then I legitimately just don't push the stick forward and I'll get those huge negatives. It's just a brain fart thing.
Good so far.
We saved the putt anyway, right? It's an up and down birdie. It's 10 under par. Playing decent. Hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit here, but hopefully it's been helping, right? You guys can let me know in the comments. Is it helping, hurting, too much information, not enough information? Do you want more of one thing? I do plan on taking one of these weeks to strictly talk about putting, right? We're not going to talk about the course management aspect so much at all, but we will focus on every single putt we get throughout the round. I'm going to try to speed up these last few holes. Because this video has just gone on too long. But again, it's another chip for me. It's uphill. It's pretty safe. It's a chip you could make potentially. Okay, give it a good run. Doesn't go in, but I mean, that's right where your super flop's gonna end up anyway, right? You might as well take a run at the hole. Couple holes left. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people struggle with putting in this game. I struggle with the rhythm early on, and then I kind of got it back. But so it's down 39. This is where a lot of people get confused too, right? They'll go add. Okay, I gotta play 13 yards of elevation here. But then the wind hits it. The wind does a lot more when they're downhill. So I don't think I need to do too much to this club. If this was straight up, this wind is not a 13-mile-an-hour wind. But in this, with this elevation, I'm actually gonna. I'll just hit it full. It could go a little long, I think, but let's see. Yeah, a little long, but the wind hit it pretty hard, considering it's down all that way. Down 3 inches. We're gonna just kind of tap this one down the hill. It's gonna break a lot because it's downhill.
Looks like you got a line on this.
Doesn't break as much as I thought, and it's way short somehow, even though I barely took anything off of that. They're slow greens, man. Slow greens, they'll do that to you. 10 under through 17. One hole left. Again, thank you guys all for watching. The support on the channel has been absolutely incredible. I really, really do appreciate it. So, keep sticking with me, guys. You know, it means a lot to me. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I know the views have been great. They've been up, so I want to say I'm doing an okay job at the very least. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm putting out so much of it. I don't have a club for this. I'm going to de-loft one. I think this is short, but I'm trying to get through it, so it's fine. Okay, this is actually good. We put ourselves in a really shit spot. Really shit spot. Pitch isn't going to work. I mean, spinner is a maybe, actually, from here, believe it or not. You could hit a flop. I might try a spinner from here. As long as I can clear this front, and we're in light rough, so I actually don't mind this. I'm gonna hit this. Let's see what happens with it. Okay. That was the what could happen. That's the use case for probably just using a flop there. But we're buried here. We're gonna use a pick. We're gonna probably make a bogey. I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest. I think we've proved the fact that we can manage the course. We're just whacking around there the last couple holes, but hopefully you guys got some value again. I'm not gonna say it too much, but thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.